Hey everybody, it's Dominique, also known as Honey, and today I'm doing my first YouTube video, finally. So I've had this channel for about 3 months now and I've not uploaded a video. And one of the main reasons is because I have Lyme disease, it's chronic and it's in my brain. And I get like really tongue tied sometimes when I'm trying to speak. And so it has kind of prevented me, but I'm conquering that from this point on. If I mess up, I just mess up. I'm just so grateful to even be here to be able to do a video. So why do I have a YouTube channel and what is this all about? Why am I even here? So again, I was diagnosed with Lyme disease, and amongst a bunch of things, one thing that it did, it attacked my intestines, and I have celiac disease. So what is celiac disease? Well, it's an autoimmune disease that it's triggered by eating gluten. And I can tell you it wreaks havoc on your organs, your skin. It's just a lot of people suffer with a bunch of stomach problems from celiac, but I've taken liberty to write some notes so that I don't get twisted and confused. And I want to just give you just a little bit of information about it. So celiac disease, again, it is triggered in people who are allergic to it by eating gluten. And what is gluten? So let's see, I have a little. Gluten is a family of proteins that's found in wheat, rye, spelt, and barley. That's the cut and dry definition, but it goes so much deeper than that. But just to keep it on layman's terms and just to keep it simple, today we'll just leave it there. I just want to give you an idea of what it is. And so what is celiac disease? Well, as I said, it is triggered by eating gluten. And if left untreated, it can lead to intestinal cancers, I'm reading right now, type 1 diabetes, osteoporosis, thyroid disease, MS, anemia, infertility, miscarriages, epilepsy, nerve damage, joint pain, and a lot more stuff, much more. So of the list that I've just read, I can fall into so many of those categories. Now, Lyme disease can also cause these things. They kind of, overlap. But I've been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, osteoporosis, thyroid disease, anemia, nerve damage. I suffer with seizures, and not been diagnosed with epilepsy, but I do suffer with seizures. I have a lot of joint pain, just pain anyway. Asthma, small fiber neuropathy that I'll talk about in another video, fibromyalgia, it's extremely painful, sleep apnea, narcolepsy. Like, I've just been diagnosed with a bunch of stuff. And I'm not just walking around accepting all of these, oh, they said I have this, so I have it. I literally have the symptoms for all of these things. Like, on any given day, I could be experiencing symptoms from many of these, or maybe one or two. But I just continue to move forward as best I can because I have a story to tell, and I believe that I'm just going to be able to help a bunch of people. They may not have to go through years and years of faulty testing and diagnoses that weren't true. I guess doctors sometimes just guessing. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a little bit of history about that. Don't want to get too carried away. And so with the celiac and the gluten, this is kind of where I am right now. As you can see, I have no hair. I lost all of my hair to all of this stuff. And it didn't happen overnight. It's been years and years and years and years of, me hiding behind wigs and weaves and stuff like that until I just got tired of doing that. And so now, I'm here and I'm, just feeling comfortable and I'm free. I love every bit of being bald. Like, I literally love it. But when I shaved, I did the big shave in May of 2018, Mother's Day weekend, I immediately embraced it. Like, I embraced being bald. I thought, oh, that looks amazing. So I went on about my way, and then the first, I would say maybe 2 days later, I woke up and I had all these unsightly bumps, and they were irritated and itching and I really didn't know what to do. I was putting alcohol on them like an old school remedy. Really didn't know what to do. And through further research, I started realizing that there were options, but I couldn't use any of them because I have celiac disease and I can't have anything with gluten. So I'll just back up a little bit. When I was diagnosed in 2014 with celiac disease, we had to take all of our food, we had to throw away all of our food out of our cabinets, out of the refrigerator. We had to get rid of all of our pots and pans and anything that wasn't glass, we had to get rid of it. And then we bought all, new food into the home. We disinfected everything and bought new food into the home. And I started feeling a lot better, but I was still just, I could tell something was very different, but I was still getting sick. And so finally, my doctor that's retired now, my gastroenterologist, he was the best. He said, unfortunately, you may have to just get it out of your products. So I started researching. I didn't know how to do that. I even had to have a lot of my meds reformulated as well because gluten, yes, it can be in your medicine as well. And so I started researching, and again, I couldn't find anything that I could use. Like I found some things on the shelf, but again, they had gluten in it. So I just started going, to the drawing board and just praying, really, just praying for a solution, because every time I shave, I don't care how careful I am. I say this all the time. I clean everything before and after I use it. It's just, my skin is just sensitive when it comes to shaving, razors, and even clippers. So, it got to a point that I would shave and then, and then it'll just be so bad, like a crime scene, really. And I just didn't want to go places. We've missed a few, maybe 3 to 4 events because, I'm going to shave a couple days. I don't want to shave a couple days before the event because I promise you, I feel like I can shave my hair right now and go downstairs and, get a snack and come back and I have hair. So I want to do it the day of. And so I learned the hard way that wasn't the best thing for me. And so I started, trying to figure out how to, rectify this problem. And I did. It took a very long time, from May of 2018 to October, actually, of 2019. And I didn't come up with it. I take no credit for it. I'm not that, creative. I give God all the credit, actually. And so through God, I was able to formulate this product, and it's called Free Dome. Get it? Free Dome. And so it's a mixture of oils, essential oils, and botanicals, and we'll talk about it later. But the reason that I'm here is because of Free Dome. It's a community. Once I realized I wasn't the only person that had these problems, I started sharing my product with people, fellow baldies, and, they're getting good results and everything. And then I started this Instagram page and it's called Our Free Dome. And the reason I did that was because I joined this amazing group on Facebook called Bald Queendom, and it's all bald women from all across the world. And it's a beautiful group. But I saw in that group that there is a need for these products. And then outside of the group, I started realizing, because I'm in a Lyme group as well, a Sjogren's group. I did mention that I was diagnosed with Sjogren's as well. But in that group, people are losing their hair. A lot of people are just losing their hair, and they don't have solutions. And then these people that are in my Lyme group and in my Sjogren's group, a lot of them are gluten-free as well. They have celiac as well. So, I, again, at the drawing board, and I came up with this amazing product through God. And that's really why I'm here today. So my focus isn't on the product. I mean, I want to sell the product, obviously, but this Our Free Dome, it's a community. I want this to be a space where bald women, men, and children can just feel free. And because actually, when I shaved, that's what I felt. I felt free. And I want to encourage people to, take that leap. You won't know until you try it. Like, you can always put a wig back on or weave if you decide that it's just not for you. But when I walked out of that salon, and it was in spring, like I said, the weekend of Mother's Day, and that air hit my scalp, oh my goodness, I felt, I can't even imagine ever covering it again. I was so free. And then when I took my first shower, oh wow, I can't even explain to you how amazing that felt, because prior to that, I really couldn't feel like the water like on my scalp like I can now. And so that's why I'm here today. I don't, want to get too carried away, because I can. And I just want you to all understand that I'm here. This community is for bald people, not bald because you just want to shave your head. This community is for people with alopecia, people that have actually lost their hair for some reason. And one thing I wanted to add before I go is that my Instagram page, it's at what is it? Our Freedom is full of beautiful, right now it's full of beautiful bald women and children, just absolutely gorgeous. The end of January, maybe the beginning of February, we will be adding some of our kings to the page, because guess what, guys? They suffer just like we do. Like, it's not just the women that feel bad or go through depression when they're losing their hair. Men, sometimes, some of them, not all of them, but a lot of them do. They have it bad, just as bad as the women. And the children, you can imagine. So this space is for us. I created it for us to be free, but it's not just free from hair. It's gluten-free, toxin-free. Like, my products are made for chemically sensitive people by a chemically sensitive girl. So, we want to talk about toxins and, and just getting rid of them, getting our bodies healthy, and, just staying away from certain things that, could affect us even further, because alopecia, which I have, is an autoimmune disease. A lot of us don't know how it became to be. I know that mine was triggered by Lyme disease, but it doesn't really matter. The fact is that, we do have it. And just as a whole, we want to be able to treat our bodies well. The reason that I'm here, I believe wholeheartedly, is because I made a decision in 2013 that I was going to take extra good care of myself. Like, pre-Lyme, I was healthy. I exercised every day. Like, I got up, extra early so I could make it to the gym, and I worked out every day. I wasn't overweight. I had, I was a very nice size, and I still got sick. So, I just started in 2013. I started drinking smoothies, and I can assure you, I drink a smoothie almost every day. It's 365 days in a year. At least 300 of those days, I believe, I have a smoothie or a juice of some sort. I changed my eating habits, even though I was already eating pretty healthy. Of course, now I can't have any gluten. And I had to change my products because the gluten was in my products. And I encourage you, so many people have celiac disease and they don't know that they have it. It's extremely difficult to diagnose. It usually takes about 6 to 10 years. Just think about that, for you to get a diagnosis of what's going on. And one of the main symptoms is that it really affects, people's stomachs. Now, it affected mine. I don't have a bunch of like diarrhea and, constipation. Those are the two things that most people complain about with the stomach, but I have the bloating, or I had the bloating. Like, at some point I might be brave enough to show some pictures of just how big my stomach really was prior to going gluten-free. So I don't know how much I've said because again, my memory is like short like that. My short-term memory is really short. Long-term memory is pretty much intact, but my short-term memory is shot. That's from celiac, type 1 diabetes, and Lyme disease. So there are there aren't any cures for celiac disease. The only thing that you can do is, just adhere to a lifelong diet of not having gluten. And you will feel better. You'll feel a lot better. So much so that if you come in contact with it, you'll know it. Like my body right now, if I just get like a little bit of gluten, like I wouldn't choose to eat it, but it's, you can maybe have a slice of bread or something that's supposed to be gluten-free, but you don't really know the process that it went through. There's a lot of ways to get gluten. And so in another video, I'll talk about why we do what we do in terms of cooking. And you'll see like on my personal page on Instagram and on Facebook, I often post videos or pictures of food that we make. Like we don't just wake up, or I don't just wake up and say, what am I gonna make today for a picture? This is really how I live. This is what I do, and this is what I encourage others to do. And if anybody wants any help, I'm here, because going gluten-free is not easy. It's not easy. It's a very long process of learning how to go gluten-free. I learned the hard way that just because a product label says gluten-free doesn't mean that it is. Like I listed about 4 things that, wheat, spelt, rye, but there are so many more. And people, you know what, I'm just going to keep it real. Like the FDA knows that some of these products still have gluten. So I had to have training to be able to locate hidden gluten. So there are words that I can't, I can't pronounce, 25 letters or whatever, or, have you, that they are, I'm sorry, let's see. They are, they're gluten. And the only way you would know that is if you had the training. So a couple things that I purchased, and I found out the hard way, was like peanut butter. I don't want to, say any names because I don't, know that I even should do that. But be careful, peanut butter, I love peanut butter, but guess what? Now we make our own. We make almost all of our foods. Now I do eat out. And every time I do, I take chances. I'm taking a chance. But I haven't eaten out since COVID. Like I haven't had any food outside of our home that we didn't prepare ourselves since February of 2020. And it's December, 29th, I think it is, of 2020. But I have a handful of restaurants that I feel comfortable with. So it's not a death sentence. Some people with celiac are even more sensitive than I am. But I have a few restaurants that I can eat at, and the managers, they understand. They have a very good understanding of gluten. It's almost like when we go, they're like, okay, everybody, staff, come on, we have a live one here. Let's do this. Like if I can't get that type of response from the manager, I won't eat there. Like I need to know that they know what they're doing. They understand. They have a dedicated, oven or whatever. They have dedicated dishes. And, they have to have all of that. And even with them being that careful, sometimes I still get sick. And when I do, we just scratch that restaurant off. I think I'm down to like 3 now that I can safely eat from. And when things open back up from COVID, maybe I may not eat out as much, because what I'm finding now that I don't is I'm feeling even better than before. Like I don't know that I've been gluten that often, nowhere near as much as I normally would. Date night, we would eat out a lot of times, and at least 2 to 3 times a month I would get glutened. But I've been in a safe zone since we've been fixing all of our own stuff, making our meals. We cook a lot anyway, but now we're doing it even more, so I guess a lot of us are. But I kind of feel like I'm rambling, so I want to just kind of end it here. Again, I'm Dominique, also known as Honey, and this is our freedom. Like, I want to welcome all the baldies, the baldy kings and the baldy queens. All of us come together, even the children. Yes, you have to be bald by some form of alopecia. Again, this group is just for, it's not for people who just decided to shave one day and say, oh, I feel so free. I see that a lot. This bald is a trend right now for some reason. And I've even seen in magazines where, you know, they would have someone that has like a little bit of hair and they're saying they're bald. And I'm like, that's not even bald. But they consider themselves bald, or some of them just shave their entire heads and they say, oh, I've never felt so free in my life. Well, we beg to differ, those of us who are truly free, because I don't feel like you're free. I just feel like you just did a different hairstyle. Your hair's gonna come back. So we're going to, and no shade or disrespect or anything, but respect what we're going through. This is a real process for us. A lot of people have even, you know, some of us don't even, not me, but a lot of people, a lot of my fellow baldies, they don't even want to live. And they're some of the most beautiful women that you would ever see, ever lay eyes on. It's some of the most handsome men, but they're so depressed because of the loss of their hair. So when we see someone who's just decided to shave, it's like, no, this is different. This is different. And I hope that, you know, that can be respected along the way, because I do get a couple of inquiries from time to time, you know, with these beautiful people wanting to be on the page, and I have to tell them, no, this page is strictly dedicated to those who have lost their hair, and, you know, prayerfully it'll come back. Because that's one other thing I want to say about alopecia. I feel like I'm all over the place right now, but it's one thing I wanted to mention about alopecia is that there are many forms, but most times your hair won't come back. And if it does, it can. So I'm not being a Debbie Downer, because it can. But if it does come back, it, you know, it could fall out all over again. So for that reason, we don't want to, you know, just confuse the two. Like, we lost our hair. It's not by choice. And then there are some people who choose to do it. I'm sure we can all see that there's a big difference there. So anyway, guys, I feel like I've just talked long enough. I'm excited. I have my first YouTube video done. I hope it's been encouraging, uplifting. I'm going to go back and watch it myself. And hopefully, you know, you'll subscribe to my page, because I promise I have a lot of good content coming. And that's it. I did it. So I'll look forward to, you know, meeting you guys again, you know, real soon. And I hope you all just have a wonderful evening and enjoy the new year that's coming in. All right? Bye.